the building of BDE, was there anything that you seen yourself doing outside of music, maybe?
Currently, prior to BDE.
Prior to BDE.
Yeah, this was more so like a hobby initially because it wasn't a sure thing. It was all a risk. Honestly, it was all a risk for the first 3 years. There was a lot of empty investments, and that's why I say it was discouraging when people close to me would say, you know, would doubt the vision, because there was a lot of empty investments, and there was a lot of times where I would ask myself, is this really worth it? Is this something that I'm really supposed to be doing? But I just had faith in the situation. I just kept going.
And that's what I started to say earlier. A lot of people's testimony is, you know, someone like that when it comes to like the most successful people. You know, that's just all it takes, regardless, even outside of the music industry, anything that you really want to do, you gotta take that step out on faith. Cause I started to ask, like, do you think there was a reason as to why so many doubted you? I mean, or did you just look at it as like, oh, they just want the best for me, you know? Well, some people may have just wanted the best for you, or they thought that was the best for you.
No, so when I was 23, I got indicted into a federal case, and I did 6 months in the feds. Mm-hmm. So I started the label right when I got out. I was doing music management prior to going in, and the artist that I was working with was incarcerated at the same time that I was incarcerated. And when I got out, my contract was basically voided, and he signed with a label, and I kind of got fucked over. I lost a lot of money, and then whenever I got out, whenever I was in jail, I told myself I'm going to start a record label. I'm going to get out. I was thinking about the master plan, whatever, and I was in there for as long as I was in there. And I told myself whenever I got out that I was going to start a record label. There would be more insurance on my investment, essentially, and there was less of an opportunity for something like that to happen to me again. So I was dealing with that whenever I started the label, and I guess that's why you can say a lot of people doubted the vision, is because I got out of jail. I said I wanted to start a record label. Who the hell says that? You know, people get out of jail and they work a job, they want to get their life together, or they go back to jail and they keep fucking up. You know,
right.
So
that was your plan.
Yeah. I had a lot of time to think about it. That's for sure. Yeah.
What did you go to jail for?
It was a long story. Google my name.
Okay.
It was like a conspiracy attempt to deliver an unlawful use of a communication device. There was like 40-something people on my case. I was at the bottom of the barrier. Yeah.
And you say while you was in jail, you was working with an artist that basically you got fucked over on. Who was the artist you was working with?
His name's Harold Lulia. He's from Houston. He's from 5th Ward. He's still around. I'm not sure if I haven't seen him drop music in quite a while, so I'm not sure if he's making music still. But you know, he's a good dude. We squashed what we had going on. We got an understanding with each other. We were actually going to work with each other a few years later, whenever we rekindled the relationship, you could say. But a little time after we rekindled the relationship, he got into an accident, and he was in and out of the hospital, and he needed to get himself right before I was able to work with him. So you know, I haven't talked to him in a while, but we still have a relationship to this day. You know, like I said, he's a good dude. I wish the best for him. I pray that he's healthy, and like I said, I wish the best for him.
Okay, so you said when you got out of jail, you started a label. That in jail, that was always your plan. So I want you to kind of walk us through it. Like, you get out of jail, do you come up with the name first, or do you have it in your mind, like the artist that you're going to sign? Like, what's the thought process that's going on?
So I had like a list of artists that I was interested in. That I had either met them or I had been accommodated with them through Instagram. But YB, DeeBaby were two of the artists that I initially signed. That I initially offered my contracts to. YB was in a situation that prevented him from signing my deal, but there was 2 other artists, DeeBaby and Harold. Was going to be DeeBaby, DeeBaby, Harold Luya, and YB Puerto Rico. I wanted to start my label with 4 prominent individuals that already had some type of regional success, some type of buzz in the city, because my blueprint wasn't implemented for an artist that's trying to build from the ground up. It was more so implemented for an artist that already has motion. But saying all that to say, DeeBaby was part of the plan initially. YB was part of the plan initially. I met Flowers maybe about 4 months later, and around that time Harold had got into the accident, and DeeBaby had something that prevented him from signing completely, but we had worked something out for a few months, and then he got COVID. I can't remember. I think he got COVID or something. He ended up passing away. Rest in peace, DeeBaby. He was a very good dude. He was a very talented individual. I was looking for more so like an executive production role from him to help YB, Harold, and DeeBaby. But then everything kind of. I had all 4 of those artists who went to LA. I wanted them to get accommodated with each other and kind of get comfortable with each other before, because I had been talking to them all individually, and I had told them this is what I want to do. And we had been going, negotiating for 3-4 months, and all 4 of those artists were in agreement to what was going on. And then we ended up going to LA. All 4 of us were in LA. All 5 of us, you could say. And then we were getting a lot of work done, shooting videos from 6 o'clock in the morning to 6 o'clock in the morning, basically the same way we work right now. I try to start that. I try to bring that energy from day one. And we got back from LA, and that's when Harold all that stuff happened with Harold, and then stuff happened with DeeBaby. And then I actually met D Flowers a few months later, like I said, and bought feature from him. It was for DeeBaby. At this time I had been working with DeeBaby. Was the only one who took my contract. He's the only one who initially signed my contract. I didn't work with YB for about 2 years after I offered him the initial deal, and then I basically just went with DeeBaby for about 2 years, and we were perfect experimental tools for each other, you could say. We were able to learn a lot from each other. It wasn't something I wanted to build. I wanted to start with 4 artists that already had a buzz. It didn't work out how I wanted it to start out, but everything happens for a reason. DeeBaby was the first and only artist that I had signed to my label for about 2 years. We kicked it off on a good foot, on great terms. Everything panned out smoothly.
And so coming out of jail and knowing these artists that you do have, lined up to sign or work with and everything, are there any key values, morals, characteristic traits, anything that you knew that you wanted out of these artists prior to meeting them?
Look, just in general, not before meeting these artists, but just in general, what I look for in an artist is consistency. That's the first thing. Talent would be the second thing. And good music, obviously. I guess that falls within talent. So consistency, most definitely, is number one. If you're not trying to help yourself, there's only so much that a record label can do for you in general. Not me, but just generally speaking, there's only so much that a record label can do for you if you're not trying to help yourself. If you're not dropping consistent, this is what you do. You're a rapper, you're an artist. If you're not dropping consistently, then the only person you're hurting is yourself. Good music. I feel like you can be consistent, you can have very up to par music, but you'll still have respect in the industry and from the audience because of your passion and your work ethic. I feel like good music is the cherry on top, like the icing on the cake. It just makes everybody else's job easier, and it makes it marketable. it like I said, just makes everything easier.